Hi everyone, I am Shriraksha. I'm Shivpuji from 8th grade Jain Public School, and today's my topic is Indian Army, our pride. As we all know, Indian Army needs no introduction. We also know that Indian Army has a long and glorious history, but it's very difficult to speak about such a thing in such a limited space. But still, I am trying to cover most of the points. Whenever I think of Indian Army, I feel happy. I feel really happy that we are lucky to have such an institution of we can really feel proud. Indian Army is the real protector of our country. We all know that India is the land of courageous people, where people don't hesitate to sacrifice their lives for the sake of our country. Indian Army is also carrying this league of being friendly with the good ones and danger for the enemies. Ensuring national security and national unity is the main focus of Indian Army. Our army is fighting against external aggressions and internal threats to maintain peace and security within Indian borders. Indian Army also plays an important role of conducting civilian rescue operations during national calamities within the border of our nation. It would not be wrong to say that there would be no Indian without Indian Army, because Indian Army is the backbone of our country. The motto of Indian Army is service before self. Ours is the world's largest volunteer army. Huge amount is spent on the armed forces, which makes our military budget the second largest in the world. India has one of the longest military's history, dating back several million years. The first reference is found in the Vedas and even in the epics of Ramayana and Mahabharata. Though there existed an armed force, World War I brought significant changes in the armed forces. Do you know the full form of army? Yes, you are right. It is alert, regular, mobility and young. There are three uniform parts of the Indian Armed Forces, that is the Army, the Air Force and the Navy. The first part of Indian Armed Forces, that is the Indian Army. It is the second largest army in the whole world, with approximately 1.23 million personnel and 9.6 lakh reserve. It is one of the major wings of Indian Armed Forces, which operates on the land across entire Indian territory. It is divided administratively into 7 tactical commands, each controlled of different lieutenant generals. The second part of Indian Armed Forces, that is the Indian Air Force. Another wing of armed forces which is involved in protection of Indian airspace and which is engaged in the aerial combat. The recent addition of Rafale fighter plane has given more strength to the armed forces. The Air Force has 5 operational and 2 functional commands headed by Air Marshal and Air Officer Commanding in Chief. It has approximately 1,850 plus aircrafts along with 108 drones. Apart from these, there are paramilitary forces, central armed forces and many others. The third part of Indian Armed Forces, that is the Indian Navy. It has 3 commands, each headed by Flag Officer Commanding in Chief with rank of Vice Admiral. Safeguarding the sea limit belonging to the Indian territory and coast is the main responsibility and function of Indian Navy, apart from assisting the nature during times of national calamities. The special features. There are many special features of Indian Army. Let's learn one by one. The President of India is the Supreme Commander of Indian Armed Forces, which are under the control and management of Ministry of Defence. To commemorate the sacrifice of Indian Army, Army Day is celebrated on 15th Jan at India Gate, New Delhi. This day always reminds of the bravery, courage, respect, sacrifice and everything that Indian Army has done for our country. Indian Army controls the highest battlefields, that is the Siachen glaciers. Indian Armed Forces have given the biggest contribution in United Nations Peace Organization. Indian Army is the uniting force which binds the whole country in a single thread of patriotism, as it has people from all the religion and caste. So it is needless to mention that each and every citizen of India are proud of Indian Army and of their valuable services in protecting our nation. Weapons with advanced technology and with strength, with highest destruction and accuracy, combined with brave soldiers, are valuable assets of our army. We have tested a nuclear weapon, not even noticed by the keen eye of CIA. Varieties of advanced missiles are being invented, tested and manufactured, showing our strength to the whole world. The Indian Armed Forces have set up military schools, Sainik schools and Rashtriya military colleges, academies. Our armed forces have their bases overalls, also as we have coordinal relationships with the neighboring and friendly countries. Farkar Air Base, a military air base located near the town of Farkar in Tajikistan, operated by Indian Air Force in collaboration with the Tajikistan Air Force. Farkar is the first and only military air base outside its territory. Brave, patriotic, respectful, courageous soldiers with discipline are the assets of our Indian Armed Forces. The life of a soldier is very tough. Our soldiers have never surrendered. Every day, one or more are letting out their lives for the sake of our country. The fact is that we sleep peacefully in our homes because of our soldiers are protecting our nation. They too have two loved ones at home. They too have families, but they choose the love of nation over everything else. Everything else, even above their own lives. We, being in our home, are frightened to enter a room if there's a cockroach. But our brave and courageous soldiers, risking their lives for the sake of our country, enter the war field, though the enemies are attacking them with bullets, bombs, and missiles. Our flag, our Indian flag, does not move because the wind moves it. It moves with each and every soldier's last breath who died protecting it. We salute our brave and heroic soldiers and pay homage to the supreme sacrifices of our army and brothers are doing every day. I'd like to end my talks by telling a heart-touching poem said by a soldier. If I die in a war zone, box me up and bring me home. Tell my mother not to cry. Tell my dad not to bow. He won't have my attention from now. Tell my mom that I did my best. Put my medals on my chest. Tell my mom that I did my best. Tell my dad not to bow. He'll not have my attention from now. Tell my brothers to study perfectly. Keys of my bike are his permanently. Tell my sister not to be upset. His bro will not rise after the sunset. Tell my love not to cry, because I am a soldier born to die. Thank you.